Hey guys, happy Monday. Emily Smiley here. Welcome to Money Mindset Monday. So excited over what I have for you guys today. If you are watching this, let me know where you live and what the weather's like. It is 80 degrees where I am in sunny California here. And I'm always curious about where you are and what the weather's like where you are. So today, let's talk ads. I'm really excited. I debated about putting this on Hot Topics Tuesday. I had this for you guys last week, but I just can't wait to get this information passed along to you. This is not new. This is nothing, mind-blowing. It's probably a good reminder for those of you that have already been running ads. This is what I get from my mentor and the people that help teach and train me. So this is not original content by me in any means, but I did want to pass it along and share it with you guys. So hopefully you find it helpful. Now, first off, I am not talking to my newbies. I know I have a lot on this page who are in network marketing, who are possibly building their network marketing company on their personal Facebook profile or page. And that's totally fine, especially when you get started. But so I am not talking to my newbies here. I'm talking to probably those of you who have been in network marketing for at least a year or so, maybe longer. I certainly was in a while before I started really turning to, running ads on Facebook. So whether you are running a new likes campaign for a new business profile page, whether you are running an engagement or boosting a post, whether you are running traffic ads or whether you have gotten to conversion ads, I really believe that these are really good tips for not just running ads, but why you want to run ads, right? So running an ad can be optimized for more people to see, your post or your page. That would be if you were boosting, one of your posts that maybe you wanted more people to see. Maybe you want people on your page to see it, or maybe you want to show it to new people and you want to create that audience in there. You can use it for engagement. Facebook loves engagement, so you want people to comment and start conversations in your post. If you're building on social media, you want that engagement, right? How many of us have seen fellow colleagues tank in social media marketing because they are throwing up company or stock image post or whatever, and it's just crickets? And everybody that you see commenting or engaging on there, you already know they're in the company. So you really want that organic in the beginning, but later on as you build, you run those engagement ads to get more people talking or commenting or messaging. When you're running a traffic ad, you're generating traffic either to your page or maybe to your blog or to a product or a service. Maybe you're in affiliate marketing and you're trying to share, or connect to your affiliate link and help them in that way. Or maybe you just started your business page and you've already gotten your 100 likes and you want to run a traffic ad to your blog post or something there. That's totally cool. That would be the next thing. And then finally would be probably running those conversions, which basically is what you want to do to actually sell in some way your product or your service. This is where people actually get to clicking to your website, clicking in to opt in on whatever you're offering. You're subscribing to your page or your emails or your blog or your product or your team, whatever it is. It means that you are running this to convert into sales. So first off, those are pretty much the main ads that you are running. Now, I will preface this with, I have learned a ton. When I first got started in the online space, I literally went to my first conference for this and it was over my head. So if you feel like this is over your head, I get it. I've been there, and I didn't even feel like I even understood the lingo because it had its own lingo. And if that's you, that's okay. Just keep putting one step in front of the other. And that really is why it's important to get a mentor, someone to literally hold your hand through the process of how to build online and what steps and what direction that you want to take, right? Because maybe you don't want to run ads. Maybe you just want to build a business page, build up, your 100 people, or organically do it that way, adding people in. That's totally up to you. But for me, the next year that I went back, I spoke the lingo. You know, I had trialed and errored some things, and I kind of was getting a hang of it. And then now, you know, it's very consistent. I usually have several ads running, at least until, you know, my budget runs out. I am in no way mastered it. I don't know anyone that would say they've mastered, you know, Facebook online advertising. It is constantly changing. In fact, when my mentor first sent me the training module for not just how to run Facebook ads, but like the metrics on how to determine, because that is really the true indicator of how you are doing, is checking and knowing how to check for your metrics and then letting it run, right? There's nothing like, you know, running $100 somewhere and you're like, but you have to like sometimes let it run. And that's totally scary. I get it. I totally get it. And again, that's where having someone, you know, say this is normal and hold your hand through that is super helpful. But there's always someone better than you that's mastered running ads. And so I am lucky enough and blessed enough to work with the best. And I really do feel that way. So the 5 tips that I want to pass along to you that they all shared with me that have helped me in my process is, number 1 is to know where you are. Know where you are in your roadmap on building online, what journey you're on and you're learning, and then go in order so that you don't get overwhelmed. When I originally started in the very beginning, I knew I needed some sort of public page to build, you know, my business on, whatever that was, but I didn't know how to run a likes campaign. And they said, well, that's where you start. And that was so helpful because they're like, don't worry about sales or driving, you know, conversion ads or even traffic ads, just start here. And so I know I've shared that before in lives, but if you are just starting out and you're kind of wanting to learn this game, this pay to play platform, that's totally worth it, you guys. It is worth playing the game. You know, I would definitely say start there, right? Start with that likes campaign. But after that, you need to go in order. So you need to know where you are in your roadmap. If you have never started a business page and run a likes campaign, why on earth do you think you're going to have a blog up and running with a funnel and driving traffic to that? It doesn't do any good if you've built this wonderful, amazing website and blog or, you know, YouTube, whatever, if you cannot generate the leads and the prospects and people and bringing people in. So you need to know where you are in your journey. And it's okay that it's a step-by-step process. It's not some magic that all of a sudden you're going to just generate, you know, a gazillion people on there. It just doesn't work like that. It really is a skill set. So when you come into Facebook, you know, advertising and learning to run these, you have to understand that if you have, like I came in knowing nothing. And so I needed to understand that I was not going to be able to jump to, you know, rocket science if I hadn't even had basic math. You really do have to go in order, and it's super helpful. So it keeps you from getting stuck in overwhelm, right? How many of us have been I'm guilty of it multiple times, repeatedly, right? Sometimes when you just get so bombarded with new information. So if Facebook advertising is new for you, and you feel overwhelmed, it keeps you from doing anything, right? If you don't understand the order that you need to do. So I would highly suggest if you are already in that stuck overwhelm, join a community, figure out your roadmap, reach out. I can definitely share, you know, the roadmap that I've used to learn those skill sets and to go in order because it's vital important. So tip number one is to go, know where you are in your roadmap or your journey and your learning and go in order. Don't skip steps because honestly, you're going to waste a crap ton of money, you guys. So that's number one. Number two, speaking of wasting a crap ton of money, is know your ad budget and understand that you need one. When I first started, I knew it was free to build a business page, right? And I understood I needed to run a likes campaign to get to 100 people. And then I was like, okay, I got to 100 people, now what? And, after that, it's okay, I need all types of ads, and I'm continually adding new people in. So, if you have, let's say, a travel business, then you want to constantly be adding new people into that. So maybe you want a likes campaign, permanently running. Or, maybe you have a new blog or a new funnel or something, some sort of opt-in that, you're offering for your health and wellness business or company or, whatever. And you want to drive traffic to that. You have to add all of that together, because there is nothing like at the end of the month seeing, you spent $368 and, it gives you that total when you've created your, an ads manager. And I had to remind myself that I had a budget and that it went really quick. It's so hard to you're tempted. I ran that first one and it's like, I turned it on, got a few leads, and I was like, turn it off. Spending the money made me really nervous, and I had to get over that. And I had to take my emotions out of it, and I had to trust my mentor, and I had to trust who literally was right there with me saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. Okay, this is what we're going to run. Okay, this is what, your ad copy looks like, or, this is what, they're opting into. And then when I was done, turning it off for the month. And there's tons of other things to focus on, y'all, right? We know that maybe you're recording videos or working on your blog, or, maybe you're still building some traditionally or old school. And so you could focus on that for the rest of the month. But setting that budget is totally peace of mind, because you can look at the beginning of the month and go, okay, what do I want to do? Well, I want to run, maybe I can afford to run a continuous likes campaign, which, is super helpful if you can do that. I currently have one running now. So if you're new to my page, welcome. Maybe you're wanting to drive traffic to a new, blog post, which I currently have one of those running. But usually I'll run it until it gets to where you can read the metrics. And then once it gets to that 3,000, I will maybe turn it off depending on how it's doing. And then I will go through the metrics training, which is constantly, again, changing. So you really have to be up on your skill set if this is an area that you delve into. And it's totally worth it, you guys. Don't let it overwhelm you. Just make sure you follow that map. And when I get to that budget and I'm getting to the end of that budget, cut that ad off because I've hit my limit for whatever, right? So I have, 3 or 4 running right now, and you have to let them run. So I might see, okay, this one's doing really well, this one not so much. I'm tempted to turn this one off, right? But if I've already gotten it out there, I've already gotten it approved by Facebook, shouldn't I wait until I get to the point where I can read and assess and look at those metrics? I mean, it makes sense, right? So set that ad budget, include all of them, include your likes campaign, include, all of the things, whether it's $5 a day or $10 a day, whatever it is. And then wait till you get to that 3,000 reach, right? When it says your total, how many that you've reached, let it get to that 3,000 and then go through the metric training where you can really assess. And, sometimes I get it. It's so tempting to just throw it out, but don't do that. Trust your budget, turn it off. And then that leads me into number 3, which is metrics. The first ad that I ever ran actually did pretty well, I thought, right? I made some money off of that one. Got some leads off of it. It was for affiliate. I was really just learning how this whole process worked. I had direct help from a pro who helped me write it. And I was like, I got the hang of this. But if you can't repeat it, then it was not a skill set that I had developed. I actually had to go back to the workshop, the next one, and go through, okay, how is this helpful in writing ad copy? It doesn't matter what you're promoting. It doesn't matter if you're promoting health and wellness. It doesn't matter if you're promoting, some sort of affiliate. It doesn't matter if you're network marketing. I don't know if you can or can't, promote your products. Most of us, you have to work around those compliance. So you're branding something, you're opting into something. And it doesn't matter what it is. But once you have that out there, you've got to let it get to that 3,000 and understand that that's part of the game, right? And when you understand that, the quicker that you learn. And I sat on that for a really, really, really long time. And I believe it held me back a lot because I was literally scared to spend the money. But honestly, and this may sound really silly, but I don't know if you guys have ever played the game of Monopoly. Well, I am super cocky when I play Monopoly because I will tell everyone I will beat you at Monopoly. Well, why do I think that? Well, I basically buy anything and everything. I will mortgage to the hilt. I understand that to win the long-term game, for the most part, I buy anything and everything that I can. And it's really similar to that. If you're in this for the long haul and it's a pay-to-play, platform, figure out your ad budget and just go, I don't know, I'm not really a gambler, but if you go to the casino, they say like set a budget. So whether it's $100 a month, $200 a month, $300 a month, you have that roadmap. That's your number one tip, right? You've set the budget. So you're like, okay, well, after that budget's gone through, then I'm going to reassess. And then you're looking at the metrics for the rest of it. And maybe you tweak it. Maybe you change it just a little bit. But learning and knowing the metrics will expedite your results like tremendously. Because the next one I wrote, I didn't like at all. And I wanted to throw the entire thing out. And my business partner was like, no. That's like throwing the baby out with bathwater. Like you just change and you tweak and you tweak and you tweak and you tweak. And there's so many amazing people that I've learned from that are like, I've had to tweak things 20 times. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I felt like I was completely failing if I had to tweak it 5 or 6 times. And you're telling me that the reason why you have been so successful with this one ad is because you've tweaked the one ad 20 times. So, and she was like, yes, I did it using the metrics. And then my mentor that was helping me at the time was like, yes, that is what it looks like. You learn the skills, you use the metrics to expedite your results, and then you're just tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it. And y'all, there are resources available, right? Numbers don't lie. You can't know the next step that you're going to take if you don't know what's working and what's not working. So if that sounds foreign to you, then like I said, you've got to have the roadmap because you've got to listen to what's working. What is your click-through rate? What if it is working? What if it isn't working? That really expedites, your ads, which brings me into tip number 4 for Facebook ads, which is ad copy skills. I really got into this. I love writing ad copy. Now, there are people out there that I am constantly learning from and, researching and watching theirs. And when they gave me like, this is the formula to use, I just took it and ran. I loved breaking down. What we think works is not always true. So the first one I ever wrote was so long that I was like, there's no way this is going to do well. And it did do well because I don't know. It was a storytelling. And then I tried one where I was like, well, that's really long. Let's go really short. And I just tried to get to the point, and I didn't do so well with that one. And so I had to go back to the ad copywriting skills, and I had to go back to the formula and go back into, mastering and tweaking over and over and really looking at this. Because you might think, well, I love that image of me. I think it's great. And for whatever reason, it doesn't do well. And then you try, another, and it does great. And that really is it in a nutshell, is you have to test and then evaluate, and then test and then evaluate. You might have one ad, like I still have an ad out that still, I'm still learning and tweaking that ad, but I'm still doing that. Let's see, I want to say it was like a year ago, and it's still working. So, why start over, right? You can apply it. But when you master the ad copy skills, and I do say skills, you can apply it to not just your ads, you can apply it to if you have a funnel, right? And we have funnels, you guys. Don't make it sound like so official, like, oh my God, funnels, you've lost me already. Like funnels can be literally taking people from your main page into your company or your product, maybe your Facebook group, right? And then that's where you get to know them. And then they filter into maybe they buy from you and they're a customer, or they join you and your team. That is a funnel, right? So you have to figure out how to put a lot of people in at the top of your funnel. And I'm talking to mostly my network marketers, but also affiliate, I guess, if you're building online, right? So you've got this like business, page on Facebook, right? That you can run your ads from, and then you can filter them. So if you're in network marketing, all right, you're going to be a customer, you're going to go over here, or you're going to be in the business, you're going to go over here. So don't let that scare you. You can use your ad copy skills if you are wanting to start a blog, but even if you don't have a website, You guys, it's the same when you're writing a blog post, which is like a post on Facebook. So it's super helpful to go through like how to do this. And how many of us see so many people getting it wrong on social media? Buy my stuff, buy my stuff, best shake ever. Oh my gosh, like, right? They're still like, oh, this lipstick, oh, this is amazing, right? And they've got the name of it already. So if you learn those ad copy writing skills, it doesn't just help you in running an ad, it actually helps you run your business, because you will be so much more effective into writing even a Facebook post because you understand what works in writing ad copy. So your skill set is literally just getting better. You can apply the same concept in so many different areas of your business just by learning the ad copy guidelines, which basically is tweak, 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 tweak. Don't just throw it out. Don't just throw it out. All right, so number 5, I've kind of already talked about a little bit, but it's test and evaluate. Don't just send it out and then scrap it and completely start over. I get it. I've been there, frustrated when something, you don't just get it right the first time. I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I understood really, really quickly. First, when I joined network marketing, and second, when I joined online space, is you are never going to get it right the first time. And what made sense to me was, coming from an athletic and sports background, was, would I ever, and I played tennis, would I ever expect someone to walk on a tennis court and to absolutely just crush me? Absolutely not. I would expect them to be a beginner, right? You are the same in the online space if you are learning. Do not expect to get it right. In fact, if you learn any new sport, anything really, but I, compare it to sports, you would have to have many practices. So if I'm a tennis player, there's many parts of learning to play the game of tennis. First, you're coming in, you're just trying to hold the racket and hit the ball, right? So maybe you're new to the online space and you're like, holy crap, I'm just trying to figure out how to use social media and not pose with my product, right? That's step 1. Then you're like, oh, I probably need maybe a big business page because I've gone through all of my people and my warm market. So I want to build in this business, and I understand this branding myself. So I want to do that. I want to run this likes campaign, right? That would be the same as maybe you learn to serve in tennis, right? And then maybe you get better, and then maybe you hit harder, and then maybe you add different spins to it, right? And then you add different types of serves. And as you're doing this, your game, the whole of it starts to get better, and you get more consistent in your game, and you get more consistent in your wins until, after a lot of practice and consistency, you start to actually feel like, oh, I'm getting pretty good at this. You guys, it is the same when you are building online. You have to be patient with yourself, and you have to be consistent, and you have to look at the specifics of what it is that you need to learn, right? What types of ads are there? Do I have a roadmap? Do I know how to run the metrics or read the metrics? Do I understand writing effective ad copy, or am I just slopping stuff out there? I see stuff, sponsored running ads, you guys, and I'm looking at it going, okay, there are so many misspelled words. The language does not make sense. And then, yet, there's still people opting into that. So you do not have to be perfect. And then I see people out there totally crushing it as well. I'm like, wow. I'm astounded. I'm like, wow. Looking at it, looking at their ad copy going, well, they're doing something right. Good for them. But that probably took a lot of practice. And who knows how many times they've tweaked that. So you have to constantly test and evaluate. And what's really cool is when I was... I'm in a community that I get a lot of help with this. And they were like, what's really cool is you don't want to look like everybody else, right? Because everybody's like, oh, another talking head. Oh, another, I had somebody on one of mine recently say, oh, this is a scam, or, whatever. And it was like, well, actually, this is free content. And if you find it helpful, great. If you would like to opt in to get some more information, it is a business, right? Eventually, you are trying to sell something, and you're not necessarily trying to hide that. But a lot of times, most of us lead with that instead of maybe leading with something value. But why do people think that? Well, because there's a lot of that out there. But if you test and you evaluate, okay, well, this worked and this doesn't, and this works and this doesn't, right? Like I'm on LinkedIn, and how many times do people literally just friend? And I get it. LinkedIn is a very direct business page, which I like that about it. It's less socially, but I don't even know this person, and they're like, "Hey, check out my opportunity," and they like send you a link, and you're like, "Oh, this is a skill set that you probably need to evaluate," right? It takes time. So maybe you have to change the image. Maybe you have to look at the numbers or the metrics. Some ads may fail. Some may take you, 20 times. Don't let it scare you. Let it inspire you, because it is so cool to see, you guys, when you have figured out how to get that funnel and whatever that looks like. And like I said, it could literally just be running from your, your profile page or your business page, running it through your funnel through Messenger and connecting with people. That might be all your funnel looks like. And so you're just running ads to trying to find new people to, talk to about your products or your services or your opportunities or your affiliate or your blog or whatever it is that you're trying to expand in your business. But it should inspire you, because once you get that skill set, it is amazing how cool it is when you start to leverage it, or you start to scale it, or you start to see the bigger picture, or you start to get that full like tennis game together, right? Where you're like, wow, this is so magical. And it's totally worth it, you guys. So don't throw away your ads. Don't get nervous about the money. Use your metrics. If you're not using metrics, you probably are throwing away some money. And if it's in your budget and you're learning, like I've been there. In the very beginning, I was like, okay, well, I didn't understand, what running an engagement post was until I did it. And I spent the money, and then I learned how to do it. So it was kind of like an investment. How many of us have ever paid for, a class? You could go down to your community college and pay for online running ads or whatever, right? And you pay whatever the price of the course is. And you're like, oh, well, it cost me $200. Sometimes it is like that. Sometimes it's like, well, okay, well, I boosted that, or I ran a traffic ad and it got a little bit, but I learned how to do it, right? So then you go back and you go back to your training, you go back to your roadmap, you go back to your metrics, you go back to tweaking it and your ad copy skills, and you test something different. And then you go through it and you finish your budget, you shut it all off after your budget is over, and you go back and you evaluate it again. And then you think, well, maybe I'll change this. That should inspire you guys. It's learning something new, because I got so tired of running out of people to talk to, and there's so many people online, and it is absolutely where we're headed. So why not join? And yes, it's a pay to play, and people are like, well, you want to run your business for free? Like even people that built old school back in the day, like used to run ads in like newspapers or magazines, or like had to pay for like printouts of things, or they had to get their message out there. It's the same thing. All you're doing is helping to get your message out there, and you are looking for people who are looking for you, and you're connecting. And Facebook makes it so cool when you can target those audiences and find the people that are looking for you. It's a process, yes. Keep your emotions out of it. It's very hard. Like if I'm like, oh, I liked that picture, like that didn't do very well. Oh, how dare them? Or you pour your heart and soul out and you tell a really vulnerable story, which I have also done, and then it doesn't do that well. And whether it was through the storytelling or it was too long, like you just don't know, right? And you tweak it. You just have to keep your emotions out of it, and you have to look at the evaluation part of it. So I hope you guys found that helpful today. I don't always talk ads. I try to keep it to specifics, but I'd love to hear what you guys are working on in your business, with your ads, with anything else in internet marketing or building strategies and stuff online. So I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. In the meantime, crush it. Bye, guys.